And hello and welcome to Scalinos Field on the campus of Cal Poly Pomona. So glad you joined us on this Monday for a huge doubleheader in the SCCBL. It will be the Palm Springs Power taking on the host, Inland Valley Pirates. Both teams come in with SCCBL championship aspirations. They have split earlier in the season at Palm Springs, and they are both about set to take the field as we have opening pitch, which is scheduled for 2 o'clock. It'll be delayed a little bit, as we are doing the first base line and third base lines right now. And when I say do, I mean we are chalking them up. And to be exact, Kevin Glom is chalking them up, who we figure to see later on here today for the Pirates, I should say. Of course, the Palm Springs Power, they come in 17-1, and they will face the only pitcher to shut them down all year and give them that loss. That is Andrew Alvarez here in Game 1 of the doubleheader. So we look forward to seeing Andrew Alvarez to take the mound very, very shortly here. If you're just joining us, obviously it's 2 o'clock now, but the game will start very, very shortly. We'll give you the defensive alignment and the starting lineup for the Power, and obviously the defensive alignment for the Pirates, as they'll take the field first, being the home team. For the Power, leadoff hitter will be Scotty Burcham at third base. Batting second at short is Hayden Nielsen. Batting third, Jake Howitt in right field. The cleanup hitter in left field is Zach Sterry. Batting fifth, Wes Tunnel, the second baseman. Batting sixth, the catcher, Colby Hamilton. Batting seventh, the designated hitter, Danny Edgewood. Batting eighth, Nate Pollock, the center fielder. And last but not least, the first baseman, Connor Klein. He is the number 9 hitter in the lineup for the Power. Meanwhile, the defensive arrangement looks something like this for the Inland Valley Pirates. Pirates will, of course, take the field very shortly here. And Fernando Escobar will be the shortstop. Johnny Reynoso, the third baseman. At second will be Greg Espinosa. At first, Kyle Jackson. The catcher is Christian Kelly. And in the outfield, we have Nolan Henley in left. Nathan Virgin in center. And in right field will be Jacob Bernardi. So that is the defense for the Pirates. Pirates come in here today 8-1 at home, so obviously a very, very strong record at home. The only loss actually being the second game of a doubleheader to the San Diego Force. And if you recall in that game, the Force got 4 runs early against Sean Patton in just 1/3 of an inning. And actually Sean Patton injured himself in that game. And the Pirates fought hard to come back in that game before falling 5-3. That is the only loss here at Cal Poly Pomona. Of course, the Pirates come in 12-3-1 overall, 4-2 in league play. Meanwhile, we mentioned the Pirates at the top of the broadcast are really, really hoping to do something that has never, ever been done, or I shouldn't say ever been done, but hasn't been done in 6 years. Nobody has split with the Power in 6 years in league play. So that is a big, big thing that the Pirates want to check off the checklist here this season. Of course, they've split the 2 games in Palm Springs, which you've also mentioned already. So another split here today would give them a split. And then if you win the series, that hasn't been done since 2008, as we were mentioning. That was the year that they actually lost the series, the Power, in conference play to a team called the SoCal Fire, which no longer exists anymore. The Power come in the 3-time defending champions, winning in 2011, 2012, and 2013. Pirates, we mentioned that 12-3-1 record. Well, they've already equaled their total of wins from last season. Of course, this season, a more complete, fuller schedule. Pirates didn't even start until about mid-June last year. But with that said, it's quite an accomplishment already for the Pirates to equal that win total in Season 2. And most of the season being very dominant, especially on the mound. And we're going to see one of the reasons why very, very shortly in Andrew Alvarez, who has been lights out pretty much any time he's come on the mound. And also at the plate, he's been sensational for the Inland Valley Pirates. As once again, we are just getting set here at Cal Poly Pomona. We are prepping the field, and the lines are now set down the third base line and the first base line. Another pretty odd day here in Pomona. I'm sure the Palm Springs Power fans will actually kind of enjoy it, and the Power players, because even though it's hot here, I'm sure it's a lot cooler, or at least cooler to some extent than it is in Palm Springs, where it's about 115 normally in the middle of the day there during the summer. When you look at the league standings, you figure that these two teams really are going to duke it out throughout the course of this season, and we figure that maybe these two teams will see each other again in the future. Of course, this is the last regular season day scheduled with the doubleheader today, but should both teams qualify for the playoffs, there could be another best-of-3 series later on in the year. Of course, right now, actually, Team San Diego is actually in first right now, but you have to figure that Team San Diego at 6-2, they have not played one game against the Power or one game against the Pirates. So even though they are 6-2, which is a good accomplishment for them, they haven't played the two teams that you look at as probably the top two teams in this league yet. Meanwhile, the Power come in 3-1 with that lone loss, of course, to the Pirates, and the Pirates 4-2. The Pirates losing 1 to the Power and losing 1 to the High Desert Heat and Adam Quintana. And, of course, Adam Quintana for the High Desert Heat has been lights out as well, kind of like Andrew Alvarez so far in the season. And he pretty much just comes in and shuts everybody down. Already has 3 wins in league and is 3-0 for the Heat with a win against the Bucks, the Pirates, and Team San Diego. So he's looking to complete his personal hat trick against the Power later on in the season and record a victory against every single team in league play. As we're still working our way towards opening pitch, the teams have yet to take the field so far. If you're wondering at home, the Pirates, yes, they are, of course, in their red shirts, red caps, and black bills with white pants. Meanwhile, the Power are pretty much the reverse. The Power are in white shirts, red trim, and white pants and white hats. Pirates take the field here for the first time of the day, the first time of many, as we do have a doubleheader between the Power and Pirates. Power making one of their only 2 road trips in the entire season. They play a 5 home game schedule every single week, and they are only traveling here to Cal Poly Pomona for this doubleheader and to San Diego later in the season. So let's see how they kind of cope and deal with the new field, one that they're not as familiar with the one that they play on every single day almost. And it was interesting because before the game, a lot of the players were kind of just huddled around the pitcher's mound, and they were kind of scoping it out and just seeing what it looked like. The man on the mound right now, Andrew Alvarez, is familiar with it and has done well for the Pirates as we are getting set here to start this game at Cal Poly Pomona. Of course, Andrew Alvarez is the 6'4", 230-pound right-handed pitcher. Started his career at Pepperdine as a freshman. Pitched a little bit for them. Decided that he wanted to not only pitch, but also hit, which we've seen him do very well as well this season. In fact, speaking of his hitting, he has 21 hits in 16 games, which is already the most of a Pirate ever. In fact, that's more hits than anybody had last season for the entire season already. And we're just about halfway through. We might not even be halfway through the season. So that's impressive as well. Of course, then he transferred over to Orange Coast College and won a junior collegiate state championship with his buddy Greg Espinoza, who will be at second base. And both of them headed to Houston Baptist next season to play for a Division I program in the Southland Conference. And finally, we are ready to start play about 7 minutes late. It's 2:07 Pacific Standard Time. As the leadoff hitter, Scotty Burcham, steps up to the plate, hitting .410 for the Power. If you look at some of the Power batting averages, they are pretty ridiculous. Lots of high batting averages for them here in the early going of the season. And we are underway. First pitch, swung on, high fly ball, foul, and out of play down the first base line. And it's 0-1. Andrew Alvarez, of course, taking the hill, going 8 innings, 6 strikeouts, and only 2 earned runs against the Power in his first outing against them. That is the lone loss for the Power this season. They are 17-1. Fastball misses low and away, and it's 1-1 here for Alvarez. Andrew Alvarez, a major in sports medicine. Working out of the windup, leg kick, and here's the pitch. This one is a bunt that's fouled back to the backstop, and it's now 1-2. Scotty Bertram maybe trying to catch Pirates napping a little bit down the corner infielders, as Bertram, the leadoff hitter, was trying to bunt for a hit. Kyle Jackson is at first base, which he is normally a second baseman. So it'll be interesting to see kind of how he reacts there and how he plays at first base. Of course, Reynoso is at the hot corner. Johnny Reynoso, a very, very good fielding third baseman. This one swung on and fouled straight back at the screen. So we'll do it again. Another 1-2 pitch to come here to Bertram. We'll give you the defensive alignment once again, as we did that about 8 minutes ago when we first came on the air, and it's been a little bit of time now, so you might have forgotten. So let's just give you the defensive alignment again after this next pitch from Alvarez. Fastball overthrown, and it's 2-2. Going left to right across the outfield is Stanley, Virgin, Bernardi. Left to right across the infield is Reynoso, Escobar, Espinosa, Jackson, and the backstop, of course, Christian Kelly. Very, very talented behind the plate. Fastball low and away, and it's a full count. So Bertram doing what a good leadoff hitter really should do, extending the count. Seeing a lot of pitches from Alvarez here, giving the dugout a full report on the arsenal of Alvarez, and this one's a fastball blown by Bertram, strike 3, and that's the first out here in the top of the first inning. We figure to hopefully see a lot of those as we go on through this game from big number 19, as Christian Kelly now joins him at the bump to go over their strategy for the next hitter, Hayden Nielsen, the shortstop, batting .451. And we mentioned a lot of these power numbers are very high batting average numbers. Some of them maybe inflated a bit if you've seen any of their games. Here's the pitch from Alvarez. Swung on, high towering fly ball to shallow right field, charging in. And camping underneath it is Jacob Bernardi for the second out. So after a long first at-bat, second hitter Nielsen flies out on one pitch. And up comes Jake Howitt, the number 3 hole hitter, and the right fielder batting .476 for the Palm Springs Power. Not too many people here yet for the doubleheader in the middle of the day on a Monday. We actually saw a lot of people at the Pirates and Buccaneers game this Saturday. Alvarez fires, swung on, fouled out of play down the first base line, 0-1. Well, Andrew Alvarez will celebrate a very special birthday in a couple days. His 21st birthday. Would love nothing more than to get an early present here today. Ooh, nice off-speed pitch that just misses for a ball, and it's 1-1. Here's the 1-1 offering. Off-speed pitch, swung on, fly ball out in the right field. Jacob Bernardi has it under control and handles it for the final out. So at the end of 1/2 inning of play, no hits, no runs, and it's 0-0. Power and Pirates doing battle from Cal Poly Pomona. And welcome back to Scalino's Field on the campus of Cal Poly Pomona. Dave Silveri on the play-by-play. So glad you joined us on InlandValleyBaseball.com for a mammoth doubleheader between the Power and Pirates. No score as the leadoff hitter, Fernando Escobar, the shortstop, steps up to the plate. Batting second will be Reynoso. Third is Alvarez. The cleanup hitter, Jackson. Kelly, the 5th hitter. Batting 6th, Nathan Virgin. Batting 7th, Greg Espinosa. 8, Bernardi. And 9 is Nolan Henley. Fernando Escobar, 5'10", 165-pound left-handed hitter. Going against the right-handed hurler, Morgan Ehrman for the Power. First pitch missed low and away. Ball 1. 1-0 the count to number 1. Morgan Ehrman plays in the Pac-12 for the University of Arizona. A lot of D1 players on the Power. As this one misses low, it's 2-0. So Escobar quickly jumping ahead of the count as the first batter. We mention it so often, it's really important for a leadoff hitter to show the dugout the entire repertoire this pitcher has to offer. This one is in there, called strike 1, and it's 2-1 to Fernando Escobar. Escobar, the gift that keeps giving. was born on Christmas Day. Here's the 2-1 pitch, swung on and missed, and it's 2-2. Of course, Fernando Escobar is one of 4 San Francisco State Gators on this team. Here's the 2-2 offering. Fastball swung, slow roller over to the third baseman Buchanan, and he fires to first, and a pick is not made at first base, so the leadoff man is on board here for the Pirates in the first inning. And that's exactly what you want to see if you're the Pirates. You get your leadoff man on board in the form of Fernando Escobar, and he has a lot of speed, as most leadoff men do. So let's see what the Pirates want to do here with Johnny Reynoso stepping up to the dish for the first time today. Johnny said it's a great day for baseball before the game. Said it's also a great day for 3 hits, and I told him it better be a great day for 3 hits in the first game and 3 hits in the second game. And he kind of laughed and said, yeah, that would be a pretty good day, as this one baits the outside corner. 0-1 the count to Johnny. Johnny Reynoso comes in 276. He has a 276 batting average, 382 on base percentage. Here's the 0-1 swung on and missed, and it's 0-2. Johnny actually led the team in RBIs last season. He's put up a bunch of RBIs already here this season as well. 5'11", 185-pound left-handed hitter. Pickoff throw, not in time over to first base. Fernando did have to get down and get dirty. So Escobar goes ahead 2-0 on the count, and here is Reynoso now down 0-2. So kind of the exact opposite of the first at-bat here for the Inland Valley Pirates. On deck is Andrew Alvarez, and stepping off the mound is Ehrman. Mentioned Escobar really has some jets, so Ehrman will have to kind of keep him on lock and keep him in his mind. Here's the pitch. Fastball low and away, ball 1, 1-2 the count to Reynoso. The third baseman is actually playing on the infield grass. Obviously, with a 2-strike count, it's not a sacrifice situation. I was wondering if they were going to try to hit and run, actually, with Reynoso, because he's very, very good at getting bat on ball, but normally with the 2-strike count, that is not what you're going to do. This one swung on and driven to the left side over towards the shortstop, Nielsen. This is going to be a tailor-made 6-4-3 double play. And so now there's 2 down here in the bottom of the 4th inning as Andrew Alvarez steps up to the plate. Of course, it's Alvarez who's the starting pitcher for the Pirates here today. Big 6'4" right-handed hitter steps up to the plate for the first time. Retired the side in order in the top of the 1st inning. Takes ball 1 low, and it's 1-0 to Alvarez. Of course, Alvarez has 21 hits in just 16 games, so obviously you can do the math. More than 1 hit a game is his average this season. Off-speed pitch paints the outside corner, strike 1, and it's 1-1 to Andrew Alvarez. On deck, the cleanup hitter, Kyle Jackson. Here's the pitch. Swung on. High fly ball. Will it stay in play? No, it gets out of play down the third base line and over the third base dugout. So it's now 1-2 to Alvarez. Alvarez, who not only had that huge pitching performance against the Power the first time around, that 8 innings, 6 strikeout win, also went 5 for 8 in those 2 games, had 3 extra base hits. Fastball swung on and chopped foul down the third base line, so we'll do it again. Another 1-2 count to come to Alvarez. Alvarez's hometown is Riverside, went to Martin Luther King High School, and of course you could have guessed that he was a first-team All-League selection. Also a scholar athlete there as Ehrman steps off the mound and steps right back on. Here's the 1-2 offering, swung on and missed, and that is strike 3. So down goes the Pirates. And at the end of 1 inning of play here, it remains a scoreless tie at Cal Poly Pomona. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. And welcome back as we head to the top of the 2nd here at Scalinos Field on the campus of Cal Poly Pomona. We are thrilled that you joined us for Game 1 of a doubleheader featuring the Palm Springs Power taking on, of course, the Inland Valley Pirates here on InlandValleyBaseball.com. Of course, Scalinos Field, named after the legendary head coach here for Cal Poly Pomona, Frank Scalinos, who won 3 national championships in the 70s and 80s. First pitch, swung on, bounced up the middle over towards the second baseman, Espinosa, charging, firing across his body sidearm, and makes the play. So 1 pitch and 1 out here in the second inning as Sterry goes down. And up comes West Tunnel. Zach Sterry was actually in the running for hitter of the week before the powers that be suggested that they go with a Team San Diego player this week. Kevin Glom was also in the running for pitcher of the week before people with the power decided they wanted their pitcher to be named pitcher of the week. This one swung on and fouled out of play and actually hits the screen right behind the backstop. 0-1 the count to West Tunnel. Well, Andrew Alvarez comes in 3-0 here this summer. 16 innings pitched, 19 strikeouts, the number on his back. This one swung and lined into right field. Charging in is the right fielder Bernardi, and he makes the grab. So Jacob Bernardi with a very busy day out there so far. 3 putouts and just 1 2/3 innings of play. And the first 5 power hitters have gone down in order here to Andrew Alvarez. Alvarez with a 1.13 ERA, which is obviously dropped since he hasn't given up a run so far here in this game. Also rocking a 0.94 whip. This one is bounced up the middle, right back to Espinosa. Espinosa fields cleanly and fires to first, and that was a rapid inning right there for Alvarez, who gets out of it unscathed. 6 up, 6 down here for the power, and we'll head to the bottom of the second inning. And welcome back as we head to the bottom of the second inning. Dave Soberai on the play-by-play. No score. Power and Pirates doing battle as the cleanup hitter Kyle Jackson steps up for his first cuts today. If you're just joining us, Andrew Alvarez has retired all 6 batters he's faced so far. Kyle Jackson, 6'1", 205, kind of rehabbing from a broken hand injury that put him out for the season this year. Fastball swung on and cracked up the middle over towards the shortstop, ranges to his left and in front of second base is Nielsen, who fires across the diamond and gets the first out here in the inning. 6-3 on the putout. So down goes Jackson at 1 swing and 1 pitch. And here comes Christian Kelly. Christian Kelly is a guy who has been leading the Pirates in RBIs this season. 9 RBIs so far for him. With him, he said it was very simple with what he's working on this summer. It's the bat. Off-speed pitch misses high, and it's 1-0 to Christian Kelly. Christian Kelly, of course, made the SCCBL All-Star team last season. And very, very talented behind home plate as a backstop. Breaking pitch in there at the knees, called strike 1, and it's 1-1. He's really known for his rocket cannon arm behind the plate. An arm to be feared, especially for the power. Towering fly ball, hit out into the shallow center field. Shortstop calling for it and makes the catch. So Nielsen now with his second out here in the second inning as Nathan Virgin steps up to the plate. Nathan Virgin, of course, one of 2 Virgin brothers on this team. Nathan, the younger of the 2, by only 11 months, so very close in age, are Nathan and Anthony. On deck is Greg Espinosa. This pitch is called to strike in at the knees, and it's 0-1. Of course, Greg Espinosa, if you're familiar with the Pirates, his brother Grady also played on the team last year. Of course, Grady is not on the team this year after graduating from San Francisco State. This pitch misses outside, and it's 1-1 to Virgin. Well, Virgin has a .357 batting average, which is very, very good. But maybe what's even more impressive is his .471 on-base percentage. Late kick, and here's the pitch. Fastball low, ball 2, 2-1 the count. He is very disciplined at the plate. Has a very good eye. Normally when you're 100 points above your batting average with the on-base percentage, that is very, very good. This one misses inside, and it's 3-1. Hitter's pitch right here for Virgin. See if he sits dead red on fastball and looks to drive something, maybe crank one down the line. Fastball swung on and fouled back towards the backstop, and it's 3-2. Full count. The on-deck hitter, Greg Espinosa, picking up the ball. Of course, no bat boys or ball boys here in the SCCBL. Breaking pitch misses high and in for ball 4, and Virgin draws a walk. So on cue, we were talking about that .471 on base percentage, and he and the great plate discipline he displays, and he displays it right there in the form of a walk. Of course, that 471 number, almost reaching base 1 out of every 2 times. And that will just go up on this walk as Espinosa steps up to the plate. 312 on the season for Greg. Late kick, and here's the pitch. Fastball high and in for ball 1. 1-0 the count for Morgan Ehrman and the Palm Springs Power. Greg Espinosa, the right-handed hitter, 5'10", 165, headed to Houston Baptist next season. Runners off, that's Virgin. Fastball misses high. Throw down the second, not in time. Sliding in head first with a stolen bag is Virgin. And he has shown the ability to do that in the last few games. If you recall, in the game against East LA, Nathan Virgin had the game-tying 2 RBI knock with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th inning and then stole second base in that situation. Here's the pitch. Nice slider in there for a strike to Espinosa. As it's 2-1 here to Greg. Greg's still ahead in the count, though, with a runner in scoring position for the first time today. Bottom of the 2nd inning, no score. Here's the pitch. Off-speed pitch misses inside, and it's 3-1. So yet again, for the 2nd consecutive batter, Pirates will have a 3-1 pitch. Hoping to take advantage of this hitter's pitch. Here it comes. Fastball bounced to the right side, over towards the first baseman. Klein steps on first and actually dives to first when his pitcher fell down off the mound. It was a very close play over there. And that'll be a 3 unassisted putout to end the inning. But it was very, I guess, scary, you would say, because the pitcher, Ehrman, who was trying to cover first base on the chopper to the right side of the infield, fell down. But he looks like he's okay as he's kind of shaking it off, and he's headed back into the third base dugout for the Power. So at the end of 2 innings, it remains scoreless at Cal Poly Pomona between the Pirates and Power. And welcome back as we head to the top of the 3rd inning. Still no score between the Power and Pirates. Up to bat, Danny Edgeworth, the designated hitter, hitting .278 on the season for the Palm Springs Power. The big right-handed pitcher, 6'4", 230 at that. Alvarez remains on the bump for the Pirates. First pitch misses low, and it's 1-0. Well, if you're just joining us, Alvarez has retired the first 6 hitters he's seen. Pirates have gotten 1 runner on board each of the first 2 innings, as this one is chopped over towards the left side. 2-hopper to the shortstop, Escobar. He handles it and fires to Jackson, who scoops it on a backhanded grab over there at first base, and that'll be the first out. So another ground ball out here for the Power. Power with 3 ground ball outs and 3 fly ball outs and 1 strikeout. That's how the 7 hitters have been retired so far, as Nate Pollock comes up to the plate, the center fielder, hitting .341 for the Power. Squares around and takes strike 1 on the outside corner, 0-1 the count. Johnny Reynoso, the third baseman, playing on the infield grass, was charging fast on that bunt attempt. Again, on the windup, here's the pitch from Alvarez. Off-speed pitch misses outside, ball 1, and it's 1-1. Just a great day for baseball here at Cal Poly Pomona. A hot day, but a little bit of a breeze, actually, as the trees are kind of shaking back and forth out in the outfield. Breaking pitch misses low for ball 2, and it's 2-1. Home plate umpire doing a very good job of showing us the counts today. Here's the 2-1 offering for Alvarez. Swung on and fouled straight back at the screen, and it's 2-2. Well, as we mentioned, we figure that the stands will start filling up more towards game 2 because it is a weekday, so some people are at work right now. In fact, some of the Pirates players are actually at work, and a big one who's at work right now is A.J. David. Fastball swung on and lifted into center field for a base hit, and that is the first runner of the day and the first hit of the day for the Palm Springs Power on a hit that was pretty much hit kind of jam shot off the hands of the bat that flew out in the center field for that first base hit. And here comes the number 9 hitter, Connor Klein, the first baseman. Connor Klein. Hoping to get another base hit here. Meanwhile, of course, Alvarez working from the stretch the first time, comes set at the shoulders, fires. Nice slider in there. Strike one, 0-1 the count. And when you get to see Alvarez, it's really a treat, pitching-wise. There are very, very few like big number 19 on the Pirates. Alvarez checks the runner at first and now fires over to first. Getting dirty was Nate Pollock. Pick-off throw not coming in time. It's an umbrella type of day here at Cal Poly Pomona. Very, very hot day. Need to take refuge in the shade. Although, believe it or not, the Power and the Pirates are both sitting on benches outside the dugout, which are not in the shade, which is surprising considering it is a doubleheader. Here's the pitch. The runner's off. Fastball away. Throw comes down, and he is gunned out. What a throw by Christian Kelly. And you better not test him too much because that's exactly what he does seemingly every single time. And down goes the second Power here in the third inning, as that was an absolute rocket by Christian Kelly. Wow. Of course, Andrew Alvarez also threw a fastball to the plate, which gave him some extra time to check his swing, and yes, he did go, says the home plate umpire. So Alvarez still hoping to face the minimum if he can get this guy out, although he did give up that base hit up the middle. Fastball swung, kind of an emergency hack, but Klein takes a good little emergency hack and gets a hold of it and fouls it out of play down the third base line. But we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, Christian Kelly is absolutely amazing behind home plate. 0-2 the count. Here's the pitch from Alvarez. Fastball swung on and lifted into shallow left field. That will get caught by Nolan Henley. It looked initially like it might be a bloop hit out there, but Nolan Henley is a very, very speedy outfielder, and we see him time and time again take away hits from the opposing team and also steal a lot of bases and run out a lot of plays when he's hitting. So that is a great, great fielder and a lot of speed, number 3 on the Pirates. And at the end of 2.5 innings, it remains scoreless between the Power and Pirates. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. And welcome back. We'll head to the bottom of the third. No score between the Pirates and Power. It'll be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters here in the third inning. Jacob Bernardi, Nolan Henley, and Fernando Escobar. First pitch in there for strike one at the knees. 0-1 the count to Jacob. Jacob comes in hitting .250. Should feel very comfortable in that batter's box playing for Cal Poly Pomona in the regular season, as this one misses inside, and it's 1-1 to Bernardi. 6'2", 190-pound right-handed bat. Majors in business administration here. Swings at this one, driven over to the left side. A routine ground ball over to the third baseman, Buchanan, who fires the first and gets the first out here in the inning. So down goes Bernardi on the ground ball out, as Nolan Henley will step up to the plate. Nolan Henley, we talk about the number 9 hitter often. He is definitely this description of a number 9 hitter. So often that number 9 hitter is a extension of a leadoff hitter. He could really be the leadoff hitter, but you have Escobar, who happens to be an absolutely amazing leadoff hitter. So if he can turn this one over to the lineup, the top of the lineup, this one misses outside and it's 1-0. He might start a rally here in the third inning for the Pirates. Love to see both Henley and Escobar on the base pass, wreaking havoc against Morgan Ehrman. Ehrman, the right-handed pitcher, delivers. Slider in there for strike. 1-1 the count here to Nolan Henley, who, if you do recall, the last time we saw Nolan Henley, he blasted a home run over the left field wall. Breaking pitch called, strike 2, and it's 1-2 to Nolan. So not only does he have that speed that we were mentioning when he caught the ball down the left field line last inning, and also talking about leading the team in stolen bases, but he also has power, too, to hit one out of his park. Swan, ground ball foul down the third base line. We'll do it again. Another 1-2 pitch to come here for Henley. Nolan Henley, 5'11", 175. From the University of Laverne, where he hit .293 this past season in a very good Division III conference, the SCIAC. Off-speed pitch bounced over to the left side. Three-hopper over to the shortstop Nielsen. He fires the first, and that's the second out here in the inning. A couple ground ball outs to the left side here for the Pirates as Fernando Escobar comes up for his second at-bat of the day. You remember his first at-bat, he hit to the left side. Wound up beating the throw-out down the first base line. On deck, Reynoso. Pitch swung on and bounced up the middle, charging over to his left, and making a sidearm throw once again is the shortstop Nielsen. So Nielsen has been involved in a lot of plays here in the first 3 innings, and that'll do it for the Pirates here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. And at the end of 3, there is still no score between the Power and Pirates. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. We'll head to the top of the 4th inning. Dave Soberi on the play-by-play. So glad that you've joined us here on InlandValleyBaseball.com. No score between the Power and Pirates here at Cal Poly Pomona. Scalinos Field. Beautiful setting for collegiate baseball. First pitch from Alvarez is a slider that misses low and away for ball 1. To the leadoff hitter, Scotty Burcham. Burcham 0 for 1 with a strikeout in this game. Made a nice play in the last half inning in the field. The 1-0 misses low for ball 2 and it's 2-0. So Alvarez falls behind the hitter here. Once again, Scotty Burcham had a really long at-bat in that first at-bat before Alvarez got the better of him. This one comes inside, and that is definitely a strike, as the home plate umpire very deliberately saying strike and pointing his finger to the right. 2-1 the count here for Andrew Alvarez, working out of the windup, firing. Fastball foul tipped off the catcher's protective gear, I believe, and then it also deflected and hit the home plate umpire, who was going to walk the ball down to the pitcher Alvarez. Looks like everybody's okay, and that's always something that the home plate umpire will do. Definitely, when he gets hit, when he gets touched up, he'll walk it out to the pitcher to kind of buy himself some time. Also maybe buying the catcher some time. It's not easy to be a catcher, and it's obviously, especially when you get beat up back there. Here comes the 2-2 from Alvarez. Slider swung on and rolled over to the shortstop Escobar. Took a tough hop at the last second, and he fielded it cleanly and threw it to the first baseman Jackson for the first out here in the inning. So 1 up, 1 down for Alvarez in the top of the 4th. Here comes Hayden Nielsen, who flew out to right field. Jacob Bernardi making 3 catches already out there in right field. Nolan Henley also has 1 fly ball out as well. So the outfield playing well so far. Here comes the pitch. Fastball swung and foul down the first base line. And that was a very, very hard fastball. Nielsen couldn't catch up with it, well behind the pitch, but did make that contact with it. Here comes the 0-1. The 0-1 just misses, and it's 1-1 here for Alvarez. Be very, very key as this game goes on for Alvarez to be efficient with his pitches. Leg kick, and here's the pitch. And this one's a 59-footer in the dirt, 2-1. We say that because we don't know exactly how many pitchers Pirates will have behind Alvarez in this game. As we mentioned, A.J. David's actually working right now, so he won't be able to close things down. Jack Johnson also not here. Swan towering fly ball in the infield, and calling for it initially was Escobar, but now Reynoso will come in and make the grab as he called Escobar off. And that'll be the second out here in the 4th inning. Up comes the number 3 hitter, Jake Howarth. Jake Howarth 0 for 1 with a fly out to Bernardi, the right fielder. If you remember last year, Jake Howarth was a very, very good player for the Palm Springs Power. Made the All-Star team. And, of course, still a very, very good hitter this year, batting .476. And in the 3-hole, you usually put your best hitter in that 3 spot, and that's why he's there. First pitch to him is a breaking pitch, low and away, ball 1. Howarth actually checked his swing but held up. It's really hard to hold up on pitches like that because it just bites so much. Drops a lot and has a hard drop. It's not a slow drop from Alvarez. Here's the 1-0 offering, fastball low, ball 2, 2-0 the count. a lot of his pitches, even when he misses, they're in the location that he generally wants it to be. Looks like he has his control here in the 4th inning for sure. This one swung. It was a fastball, and it's lifted foul and out of play behind the backstop and into the adjacent parking lot here at Cal Poly Pomona. Of course, adjacent to the field on the first base side is dormitories that the students live in Cal Poly Pomona, and there's also student parking out there. Park at your own risk because a foul ball might hit your car like that. Here comes the pitch for Alvarez. Swung on and fisted. It was right off the end of the fist. A little flare over to the second baseman, Espinosa, who makes the grab and underhand flips it back into the mound. And that'll do it for the 4th inning. And at the end of 3.5 innings of play, still no score between the Power and Pirates. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. And welcome back to the bottom of 4 we go. No score, Pirates and Power doing battle here at Cal Poly Pomona. Johnny Reynoso stepping up to the plate for his 2nd time. Grounded into a double play in the 1st inning, 6-4-3. Which was tough for the Pirates in that 1st inning because Escobar did reach base. Fastball paints the outside corner. 0-1 the count to Reynoso. Reynoso is headed to West Texas A&M. Very quality Division II program. Squaring around, trying to bunt for a hit. And he can't make contact with it, and it's now 0-2. So Reynoso falls behind 0-2 for the 2nd time in as many bats, with Alvarez up on deck. This is 2-3-4 in the lineup. Pirates hoping to do some damage in this inning. Swung on and missed, blown by Reynoso. And down he goes on 3 pitches, and that's the first out here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Here comes Alvarez, who is obviously pitching his tail off so far in this game. Like to now do a little bit with his stick as well here in the 4th inning. Mentioned it at the top of the broadcast, but he did start his career at Pepperdine and decided that not only did he want to pitch, but he also wanted to hit. Swung on and missed at an off-speed pitch, and it's 0-1. So that's why he went to Orange Coast College as a sophomore and won a junior collegiate state championship, and is now headed to Houston Baptist with a scholarship to both pitch and hit for them. This one misses outside. 1-1 the count to Alvarez. On deck, the cleanup hitter, Kyle Jackson. Late kick, and here's the pitch from Ehrman. This one is in there for a strike, and it's 1-2. Fastball looked like it was kind of out of the zone to me, outside, but called a strike by the umpire. Working pretty quickly now is Ehrman, and here's the 1-2. Fastball overthrown low, and it's 2-2. So Alvarez extending the count, hoping to go deep here. Here's the 2-2 offering. Swung on and fly ball fell and out of play down that first base line for Alvarez. Of course, this is a huge game in the SCCBL. These two teams are really the two teams that we figure to see playing in the championship series, although they're actually second and third in the league as it stands right now. Swung on and fouled straight back at my head. In fact, maybe a foot over my head. Thank God there is a fence right there. And it's 2-2 as the on-deck hitter picks it up. That's Kyle Jackson, of course. I say so often when you foul one straight back at the screen, you're just a fraction of the... This one's called strike 3 on the outside corner, and down goes Alvarez, so the second strikeout here in the inning as Kyle Jackson steps up to the plate. But they say so often when you hit a foul ball straight back at the screen, you're just a fraction off from hitting a line drive up the middle. Kyle Jackson 0 for 1, grounded out to the shortstop, who's been very busy for the Power in this game. Fastball at the knees, called strike 1, and it's 0-1. Shortstop, of course, Nielsen for the Power. On deck is Christian Kelly, the catcher. Still has his leg gear on. So he doesn't know if he's actually going to come up here in the inning. Fastball low and away, ball 1-1 the count. Kyle Jackson, one of 4 SCCBL All-Stars last year for the Pirates. Hit .340 in the summer. Fastball misses outside, 2-1. This season hitting .321, So not too far off from that 340 number. Of course, playing for Chaffey College next season as a sophomore. Breaking pitch on the inside called strike 2. He missed this season and had to redshirt because of a broken hand, but he's thrilled to be back out here for the summer. Kind of take some hacks and get back into playing. Here comes the 2-2 offering from Ehrman. Checks his swing, and yes, he did hold up to Jackson, as we won't even have a look over towards the first base umpire. And it's a full count, 3-2 the count here. Kyle Jackson and Ehrman locked up in an epic battle for this right here. Fastball misses low and away, and that's ball 4. So Pirates get a runner here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th inning. They've had 1 runner in 3 of the 4 innings so far. Meanwhile, Power only getting 1 runner on the entire game so far in 4 innings. And that 1 runner was gunned out by the man that is now walking up to the plate, Christian Kelly, the catcher. And we said when that happened, you do not test Christian Kelly because he really does have a rocket arm behind home plate. The catcher, Hamilton, will go over and talk things over with his pitcher. Kind of give the strategy here of what they want to do to his counterpart, Christian Kelly. Interesting to note that both catchers also wear number 27. Well, we said it was 2-3-4 in this inning. We're looking for a big inning for the Pirates. First 2 hitters were struck out. But Kyle Jackson drawing the walk. First pitch swung, towering fly ball. Foul, but will stay in play. The catcher has it under control. And Hamilton will make the grab for the final out of the inning. So that'll be a fly ball to the catcher to end the 4th inning. And at the end of 4 innings of play, it remains scoreless at Scalinos Field. And welcome back to Scalinos Field on the campus of Cal Poly Pomona. It's a pitcher's duel breaking out here between the Pirates and Power. No score. Andrew Alvarez so far going 4 innings and allowing only 1 hit. Meanwhile, Morgan Ehrman has also been very, very good for the Power. Also allowing no runs and 1 hit. Here's the pitch from Alvarez. First pitch is a pitch right in at the knees, called strike 1, and it's 0-1 to Zach Sterry. Sterry kind of stared at the home plate umpire. Didn't look like he necessarily liked the call, but it looked good to me. Here's the 0-1 offering. Swan is driven down the line to right field. Charging in is Bernardi, and it hops right in front of him for a base hit. So that is the second base hit here in the game for the Power, as they have their leadoff man on board in the top of the 5th inning. We mentioned that Sterry has been very hot for the Power in the last week. I know they said he had 6 RBIs and 6 runs scored just last week for them. Up comes the left-handed hitter, West Tunnel. Tunnel 0 for 1, flew out to right field. And Jacob Bernardi. Bernardi seeing 3 fly balls that he's caught, and then that one that dropped in front of him for a base hit. Well, the Power, they are sending up 4, 5, and 6 hitters, so right in the middle of their lineup. West Tunnel is the number 5 hitter in the lineup, squaring around in a sacrifice situation, but now tries to swing it. High chopper over to Reynoso. Reynoso has to retreat deep on the infield grass and fires in time across the diamond for the first out here in the inning. But the runner does move up 90 feet and into scoring position, as the Power were trying to put one over on the Pirates there, trying to make it look like they were going to sacrifice, and then kind of slashing like you would do in softball to bounce it over the head of the infielder. The infielder, in this case, Reynoso, doing a very, very good job retreating and making the throw. So 1 down and 1 on. Zach Sterry over at second base. Here comes Colby Hamilton. He takes low for ball 1. 1-0 the count to him. Hamilton is 0 for 1 with a ground out to second base in his first at-bat. Been a very, very good pitching performance for both sides so far. Here's the pitch from Alvarez in there for strike 1, and it's 1-1. Well, we mentioned it when Colby was behind home plate and Christian Kelly was at bat. They both wear number 27, do both catchers. 1-1 the count here. Johnny Reynoso on the infield grass. Here's the pitch. Swung on, lifted into center field. And coming in and making the grab out there is Virgin for the second out. So a routine fly ball out there to Nathan. And up comes the number 7 hitter, Danny Edgeworth, the DH. It's funny, you look at these stats that the Power have provided, and you look at Danny Edgeworth batting in the 7 hole as a DH. He has the lowest batting average of anybody in the starting lineup with a 278 clip. And yet he's the DH. Just kind of interesting. Left-handed hitter going against the right-handed pitcher Alvarez, rocking an open stance. Here's the pitch. Fastball in there. Strike 1. 0-1 the count. And we have number 19 against number 19 here, as Edgeworth does have the same number as Andrew Alvarez. Alvarez working out of the stretch. Comes set. Kind of at the shoulder level. Fires another fastball outside for ball 1. 1-1 the count. Christian Kelly did set up outside and tried to frame it, but to no avail from the home plate umpire, who determined that it was maybe a little low, maybe a little outside. Top of the 5th inning, no score, 2 outs. Swung on and fouled straight back at the screen, and it's 1-2 here to the catcher, or to the designated hitter, Edgeworth. So a big pitch right here for Alvarez with a runner in scoring position. That is Zach Sterry, who singled into right field and then was advanced over to second base on a ground ball to the left side that Johnny Reynoso did a really, really good job of, getting back to and firing a laser across the diamond to record the out at first. Here's the 1-2 offering, bounced up the middle, and that'll get through. Charging in is the center fielder, Virgin. Virgin's going to throw home to the plate, and he is gunned! He is gunned out by Virgin, who read it straight off the bat. Virgin basically caught the ball about maybe 15 to 20 feet away from the infield dirt. Just very aware, just reading it off the bat, firing in one fell swoop over to Christian Kelly, a couple feet up the third base line, and he was dead to rights. No chance to even slide as the tag was applied, and down go the Power. And at the end of 4.5 innings, there's still no score at Cal Poly Pomona. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. So often in baseball, you see a guy who just made an outstanding play in the field come up and lead off the next inning, and that is exactly what's going to happen right here as Nathan Virgin steps into the batter's box. He walked in his first plate appearance, so no official at bat yet, as this is a strike low and at the knees, called strike 1, 0-1 the count. We're actually talking about Nathan Virgin's eye at the plate and his plate discipline in his first at bat, and on cue, the .471 on base percentage showed off there, and he walked, but now he swings and misses at this one, well out of the zone on an off-speed pitch, and he falls behind 0-2. So it'll be tough to maybe try to generate another walk. Morgan Ehrman still on the mound for the Power. This one is swung on and lifted straight back at the screen. We'll do it again. Another 0-2 count to come. Pirates sending up their numbers 6, 7, and 8 hitters in this inning. That'll be Virgin, Espinosa, and Bernardi. Late kick, and here's the pitch. Swung on and driven to the left side and through the hole, deep in the hole. Backhanded grab by the shortstop, but he will not be able to make the play in time. So Virgin has the infield single. And once again, Virgin's on base. Both times today, Virgin reaches base for the Pirates. As now, let's see if the Pirates and the manager, Charlie Reynoso, try to employ a little bit of small ball tactics. This might be a sacrifice situation for Greg Espinosa. Although, if you remember, Nathan Virgin actually stole second base. So if he could steal second inning, he's off. Squaring around and now bringing it back is Espinosa, and he has it for the second straight time. So Nathan Virgin taking matters into his own hands. Both times he reaches first base. Both times he steals second. And this time he puts himself in scoring position with no outs in the bottom of the 5th inning and no score. Now let's see what Espinosa does here. Once again, squaring around. Will they try to sacrifice here? And yes, they do. And it's laid down to perfection down the first base line. Sacrifice bunt applied. And moving up 90 feet into third base on the sac bunt is Nathan Virgin. So anytime you get that runner on second base, and we talk about playing small ball, and now Harry Gurley, the manager for the Power, is calling time, and he's going to have a visit to the mound, which is interesting because it's really just been that one infield hit, and then Virgin just jetting on his own over to second base and stealing basically off the pitcher. He really read the pitcher's, pop time to the catcher and decided that he knew exactly how to read him, and that's exactly what he did. He was off about halfway to second base before the pitcher even threw it. And that's probably part of the reason that Espinosa alertly took his bat back on that first pitch and didn't bunt it, because he knew that the base was already stolen. And then that allowed the Pirates to sacrifice Virgin over to third. So right here, you have another situational at-bat here for Bernardi, where if Bernardi can just lift one to the outfield, the Pirates can take a 1-0 lead. The infield is in. The second baseman, shortstop, third, first, they're all in on the infield grass, as it will be very challenging to score just one run in this game. Bernardi takes an off-speed pitch low for ball one, and it's 1-0. Jacob Bernardi, 0 for 1, ground ball to the third baseman in his first at-bat. Of course, Bernardi swings at this one. It's a line drive down the third base line. That gets past the third baseman. In comes Virgin to score. Bernardi digging in the second and stands up with a double, and the Pirates have taken a 1-0 lead here in the fifth inning. So, Jacob Bernardi crushing one down that left field line past the outstretched glove of Buchanan, the third baseman. We had just mentioned that he actually grounded out to him in the first at-bat of the game, and this time he says, I'm going to place it somewhere where you can't get to it, and that is right down the line. 1-0 the score. Pirates on top. Nolan Henley at the plate, 0 for 1, ground out to the shortstop. Swings and misses at an off-speed pitch well out in front of it, and it's 0-1. Nolan Henley wearing the black stirrups. Kind of old-fashioned, old-school type of approach for Henley. Of course, we mentioned it, but it's worth noting again, Henley hitting a home run in the last game against the Buccaneers. Pitch swung on and fouled back towards the backstop, 0-2 the count. They kind of affectionately refer to this place as a hitter's graveyard because it's very big and not too much wind, so it's really hard to hit a ball out of this park. And I believe, well, I know for a fact Nolan Henley's home run was the first one we've seen here this year. And I don't remember seeing any last year. Maybe there was one, but it's very rare to hit a home run. Checks his swing and bounces it to the right side, and the pitcher, Ehrman, will field it and actually run all the way to first base and step on the bag for the rare one-assisted putout. So that'll be the second out of the inning. But Bernardi does advance into the third. So the Pirates hoping to maybe potentially get another run here in the fifth inning and double up on the Power. Power, of course, 17-1. They've only lost one game to these Pirates. Fastball low and away. Ball 1 to Fernando Escobar. Escobar, 1 for 2. Single to the left side and grounded out to the shortstop. Both of his balls going to the left side of the infield in his previous two at-bats. This one swung and fouled out of play down the third base line and into the adjacent parking lot over there. So it's 1-1 to number 1 on the Pirates, who bats number 1 in the lineup. So sticks on the board here. 1-0 the score. Bottom of the fifth inning. Pirates taking the lead. Swings at this one and drives it straight back to the pitcher. He tries to backhand it, gets by him, but it goes over to the shortstop, and he makes the throw across the diamond as Nielsen for the final out of the inning. So as we mentioned, Escobar grounding it to the left side all 3 times. One of the times he was able to beat it out for an infield hit, but this time just misses beating it out by about 1 foot, and that's all the Power need to get out of the inning. But the damage was done. The Pirates take a 1-0 lead on the RBI double by Jacob Bernardi here in the bottom of the fifth. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. To the top of 6 we go. 1-0 the score. Pirates on top of the Power. RBI double by Jacob Bernardi down the left field line is the only run here so far. Alvarez still on the mound. Slider low and away. Ball 1. 1-0 the count to the number 8 hitter in the lineup for the Power, Nate Pollock, the center fielder. Well, if you recall in the last inning, his counterpart, Nathan Virgin, gunned out a runner at home plate to prevent the Power from taking the lead. 2-0 the count. Virgin read it very well off the bat and sprinted in, caught it maybe about 15 to 20 feet away from the infield dirt and fired a rocket into Kelly. And they made the tag at the home plate. This one's called a strike, and it's 2-1 to Andrew Alvarez, who has been very efficient so far. Only 3 hits allowed in the 5 innings. Fastball paints the black on the outside, called strike 2. 2-2 the count here. Of course, Alvarez, the only man to record a victory against the Power this season, went 8 innings in game 1, breaking pitch in the dirt, 3-2. And let's see what he can do in this game. The reason I said he was efficient is because he hasn't seemed to throw that many pitches. So obviously, the fewer pitches you throw, the deeper you can go into ball games. Full count pitch, swung on and driven to right field, line drive. Making a diving attempt was Bernardi, but it gets past him. Bernardi will now fire into second base. And the runner over at first, Nate Pollock, who hit the single out there, actually tripped over the bag. And it's actually probably better for the Power that he did trip, because he probably would have been gunned out by Bernardi had he gone to second base on that one, as he will now walk it off down that first base line, remove his helmet. But he should be fine. And up comes the number 9 hitter, Connor Klein, the first baseman, 0 for 1 with a flyout to Nolan Henley in left field. If you remember, that flyout was a shallow fly ball right down the left field line, and it looked like it was going to be a Texas leaguer or a bloop base hit. But Nolan Henley showed off his jets, sprinted to it and caught it, and made it pretty much look routine down that left field line. So we are about ready to resume play, as Nate Pollock has walked it off and now discards his batting gloves to the first base coach over there for the Power. Pickoff throw to first. Kind of a good idea, actually, after a guy just kind of bangs up his ankle, to maybe see and test him and see how he is. Pollock, let's see if he takes a bigger lead. It's about a medium-sized lead. Squaring around and letting it go is the number 9 hitter, Klein, but it's called a strike on the off-speed pitch anyways, and it's 0-1. Well, this would certainly be a sacrifice situation for the Power if there ever was one. Down 1-0 in the 6th inning. Leadoff man on board. Your number 9 hitter at bat. Once again, squaring around, and he lays it down foul, so it's 0-2. The bunt should be off now. See what the Power want to do. Obviously, you can try to bunt with a 2-strike count, but if you foul it, that is a strikeout. So it's sort of ill-advised, and it's something that most teams don't do, but some teams, when they want to prove a point and they think that it's really what they need to win the game, will attempt to do it. Let's see what the Power do here. I think he'll be hitting all the way. 0-2 pitch, working out of the stretch, is Alvarez. Fastball high and away, ball 1, 1-2 the count. When you watch Alvarez, you're certainly watching one of the best pitchers in this league. One of the best pitchers that you'll see in Southern California in general during the summer collegiate baseball season. Pickoff throw over to first. Of course, the Power have a couple guys who are very good as well, including Ehrman, who is on the mound from them, from University of Arizona. Here's the 1-2, misses outside, and it's 2-2. Another really, really good pitcher that we get to see in the SCCBL is Adam Quintana for the High Desert Heat, who really has lights-out stuff and is 3-0 in league play. Pirates coming in today, 12-3-1, 4-2 in league play. Looking to improve upon that right here. Fastball low, ball 3, and that's a full count. So Connor Klein, who couldn't successfully execute the sacrifice bunt, all of a sudden has a full count after taking 3 balls in a row. And a big payoff pitch to come here for number 14. Alvarez checks the runner at first base and now comes set. Fires back over to first base, and that's the first time that actually the runner over there, Pollock, got down and dirty. Some of the guys in the dugout were yelling yes because they thought they had gotten him, but it didn't look like they did get him. It was close, but not close enough. Here comes the full count pitch. Fastball swung on and missed, and it actually was foul tipped, but into the glove of Christian Kelly. So that is the second strikeout of the game here for Andrew Alvarez, who records a big out right there after the Power were content to give that out up in the form of a sacrifice. And Klein couldn't get it down, and then he ends up striking out. Here comes the top of the order, and Burcham, the third baseman, Scotty Burcham, 0 for 2, strikeout and a ground out. Takes an off-speed pitch on the inside corner called strike one, 0-1 the count. Still over there at first base is Nate Pollock, who banged himself up on the line drive base hit down the right field line, where he hit the bag and fell, which once again, it was actually kind of a good thing for the Power that he did fall, because Bernardi got to it very quickly and fired a one-hopper over towards the second baseman Espinosa, and I think he might have been gunned out if he had run. This one is lined to the third baseman, Reynoso. Reynoso checks second and then fires the first in time. Nice pick over there at first base by Kyle Jackson. So the runner advancing into second base in scoring position on the 5-3 ground out by Burcham. But once again, a nice play made by Jackson, who normally is a second baseman, so normally he's not there at first base. So that's, you can't say enough about the job he did to dig that one out of the dirt on the one hop. 2 outs, top of the 6th inning, 1-0 the score. Pirates on top of the Power. Here comes the number 2 hitter, Nielsen. Nielsen has been involved a lot as the slider misses outside ball 1-0 the count. He's been involved a lot in the field, a lot of ground balls going to him, a couple fly balls as well. At bat, though, he's 0 for 2, 1 fly out to right field, and 1 fly out to Johnny Reynoso, the third baseman, who just made that last play, checking at second base and then firing across the diamond to first to get that second out of the inning. So for the second time in a row, the Power have a man in scoring position at second base. Fastball swung on and lifted. High fly ball to shallow center field. Coming in 3 feet is Virgin, and he makes the catch. And that'll do it for the 6th inning. And at the end of 5.5 innings of play, the score remains 1-0. Pirates on top of the Power here at Cal Poly Pomona. To the bottom of 6 we go. So glad you've joined us on InlandValleyBaseball.com. My name, of course, is Dave Soberi, the play-by-play announcer for both the Pirates and Buccaneers this season. 1-0 the score. Pirates on top. 2-3-4 up in this inning, starting with Johnny Reynoso. Reynoso is 0 for 2, strikeout and a ground out. Fastball misses outside for ball 1, and if you recall, this is actually the first time he's been ahead of a count. The first 2 times he fell behind 0-2, so I'm sure he's loving the fact that it's 1-0 here. Like kicking the pitch. Swung and lifted into center field. Line drive, base hit by Reynoso. And the leadoff man's on board here in the bottom of the 6th inning in the form of Reynoso. And so often you see Reynoso, he is always in the middle of big innings for the Pirates. If you look up some of their big innings throughout the season, he's always the one that started off. Maybe not always with a hit, but he'll get on base some way. He'll walk, he'll be maybe hit by a pitch, or he'll just find a way to get on base and then kind of wreak havoc on the base pass. As now you have the heart of the order set to come up with no outs. Bottom of the 6th inning, Andrew Alvarez at the plate. He actually is now halfway in between third and home for a little bit of a meeting with his manager, Charlie Reynoso. Charlie's son on first base looks at his signs, and let's see if they put on some kind of play. Could we possibly see a sacrifice bunt from Alvarez? That's the question here. You would hate to take the bat out of his hand, but once again, runs are definitely going to be at a premium in this game. Only 1 scored so far, and he is squaring around, and he goes and misses on a fastball that was high for strike 1, 0-1 the count. Well, so often they say that the first duty of you as a sacrifice bunter is to make sure that you bunt at a strike, and that one was a fastball that looked like it was pretty high. Let's see if Alvarez can get it down on an 0-1 count now. Ehrman very concerned with the runner on first base, Reynoso, who hit the line drive base hit up the middle. Squaring around once again and getting it down the third base line is Alvarez. Alvarez hustling down the line, and a nice backhanded pick over at first base by Klein. to really save an error that would have allowed Reynoso to go over to third and Alvarez to second if he didn't catch it. But the job was done by Andrew Alvarez, who now sacrifices Reynoso into scoring position. So this is the third straight inning now. The Pirates have had a runner at second base. 2 innings ago they couldn't score, but in the last inning, a double down the left field line by Bernardi gave them the 1-0 lead. Breaking pitch in the dirt. 1-0 the count to number 1-0, Kyle Jackson. Kyle Jackson, a very, very good hitter for these Pirates. 0 for 1 on the day, grounded out and walked. Swings at this one, lines it in the left field, and that'll one-hop over to the left fielder. Charlie Reynoso is holding the runner, and actually the fielder out in left field, Cherry, missed it, and Johnny had to stay put at third base as it temporarily got away from Cherry, the left fielder. But that was still really sort of the fundamental thing to do, I guess you would say, to hold Reynoso there, because it was a line drive, but it was hit in the short left field. And Reynoso just kind of, when he saw the stop sign, did exactly that. He stopped at third base and wasn't ready to hit the Jets on again and potentially score the second run of the game. Kyle Jackson smiling, grinning ear to ear after that line drive base hit in the left field. There's a full conference over at the pitcher's mound with all of the infielders and Harry Gurley, the manager for the Palm Springs Power. Big moment right here in the 6th inning, bottom of the 6th. Only 1 out, runners on the corners. Pirates hoping to extend a 1-0 lead and get some insurance runs, some all-important insurance runs against such an offensive juggernaut as the Power have. You look at some of the games the Power has played this past week, and it's almost laughable, the run totals they put up. But this is what happens when you face good pitching. It's not always as easy when you face a legitimate number 1 starter. Working out of the stretch is Ehrman. Fires a fastball, swung on, high fly ball. Get out of play. Will it get out of play? That's the question. It hits the net, and it does get out of play. So it's 0-1 here to Christian Kelly. Christian Kelly, the catcher, coming in 382 before today. 0 for 2 with a couple flyouts in this game. Well, this is another really situational hitting type of play right here for Kelly, because there's a runner on third with 1 out. If you can just hit a fly ball into the outfield, that should score a second run. The corner infielder is playing in. Squaring around and bunting is Kelly as the suicide squeeze was on, because Reynoso was off with the pitch. That's how you know it's a suicide. So a lot of faith shown right there in Kelly to at least get the bat on the ball. But now he falls behind 0-2 in a huge situation right here for the Pirates to try to get an insurance run in the 6th inning. Ehrman towing the rubber from the left side. The right-handed hurler comes set and steps off the mound. On deck is Nathan Virgin, who scored the lone run of the game. Runners off, fastball high, and faking down to second base was the catcher, as Kyle Jackson is in there safely with a stolen bag. And now you got 2 runners in scoring position with a 1-2 count here to Christian Kelly. Kelly, starting his career at UC Santa Barbara, where he redshirted before transferring here to Cal Poly Pomona, will be a sophomore next season. Of course, an all-SCCBL performer last year. Swings at this one and chops it foul into the third base dugout of the Power. And there was a sarcastic yeah from somebody. It might have actually been Taylor Valentine, who was on the team last year and is in the dugout here today. He and Aaron Reynoso, as well as Ryan Marcos, the coach, are kind of chuckling a little bit. This pitch is overthrown in the dirt for ball. 2-2 the count here to Christian Kelly. Well, actually, a really good job by the catcher, Hamilton, to block that ball, because if it got by him, that would have scored a run. Fastball swung on and fouled back at the screen. And I think, did that thing stick into the fence? It must have, because I never saw it fall down. It was hit right over my head. And the tent is blocking my view. So, yes, we get confirmation from Mr. Alvarez that it is stuck in the fence. Here's the pitch. Off-speed pitch, misses low and inside. So Christian Kelly down 0-2. Gets it all the way to a full count here. Another solid at-bat from the Pirates. Just extending the pitcher. Let's see what he can do on a full count pitch. Swung on and missed, and that is strike 3. So after fouling off a couple of pitches by Kelly and then seeing 3 balls, he strikes out. Tough strikeout there for the Pirates because, as we mentioned, there was only 1 out. So if he could have gotten the ball into the outfield, maybe even hit a ground ball in the infield, could have potentially scored the run, but that is not going to be a possibility now. This will have to be a base hit by Virgin, who swings at the first pitch, towering fly ball down the right field line. That is caught out there in right field by Jake Howitt. So the Pirates, they had 2 runners in scoring position with only 1 out, and they could not take advantage of it. But they still cling to a 1-0 lead at the end of 6 innings. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. We'll head to the top of the 7th inning. 1-0 the score. Pirates scoring the only run of the game back in the bottom of the 5th inning on an RBI double by Jacob Bernardi down the left field line that scored Nathan Virgin. Andrew Alvarez still on the bump for the Pirates, working now his 7th inning against the heart of the lineup for the Power. First pitch is a breaking pitch low for ball 1, 1-0 the count. The heart of the order is Jake Howitt, Zach Sterry, and Wes Tunnell. So 3-4-5. This is a huge inning for Alvarez. Late kick, and here's the pitch. Fastball swung and driven down the first base line, foul, and it's 1-1. In league play, Pirates coming in 4-2, the Power 3-1. Team San Diego is actually 6-2, but they have not faced either one of these 2 teams, so they're the top 3 in the SCCBL as this breaking pitch gets down low and away for ball 2, 2-1 the count. And a little breeze for pretty much the first time all season here at Cal Poly Pomona. Looks like if there's a breeze, it's going from left to right across the field. Fastball swung and lifted into center field to straightaway center. Virgin doesn't see it, and it gets over his head and all the way back to the fence. Now firing in is the right fielder Bernardi to the cutoff man and shortstop Escobar, and that was a tough double right there because it looked like it was pretty much, it was a fly ball that was hit to deep center field, but certainly one that Nathan Virgin would have been able to track if he could have seen it. But he lost it in the sunlight, and so the Power now have a leadoff double and a man in scoring position as it looks like they might get a pinch runner. No, they're just going to get Jake Howitt giving off his protective gear from his ankle over to his third base coach. So tough right there for Andrew Alvarez and the Pirates, as Virgin could not see the ball in the air. Especially tough because there was 1 out with 2 runners on second and third in the last inning. The Pirates couldn't get one across. Sacrifice situation. Snap throw down to second base, not in time, but it was very close as Jake Howitt was caught napping a little bit and had to slide awkwardly with his left leg into second base. When you have a guy like Kelly who can just kind of throw it like that off his knees, there's always a chance to pick a runner off. Alvarez, we're going to see what he's really made of right here in the 7th inning. Fastball swung on off the edge of the bat. Diving catch made by Reynoso. Reynoso fires across to Jackson, and that's the first out as Johnny Reynoso laying out for that one. And the big thing is not only does he catch it and make the out, but he also holds the runner at second. So an unproductive out right there for Zach Sterry and the Power, as Johnny Reynoso has had a very, very good day defensively in the field. Here comes Wes Tunnell. Tunnell 0 for 2. Fly out to right field and a ground out to third base. Alvarez hoping to retire for a 3rd time. Checks the runner at second, comes home, swung on and missed at a breaking pitch in the dirt, and it's 0-1. And he didn't really move out of the way as the ball kind of bounced away from Kelly. If the runner had gone, I would really wonder if catchers or if hitter's interference might have been called. Because like I said, he didn't move at all and stood pretty much right in front of where the ball went, but the runner couldn't go. And it remains 0-1 here for Andrew Alvarez. Alvarez comes set, fires. Fastball, outside, ball one. 1-1 the count. As we mentioned, Alvarez hoping to get an early birthday present that he would actually earn and wouldn't necessarily receive. His birthday just 2 days away from turning 21. Checks the runner at second, fires home. Swan lifted to left field, deep left field, but Nolan Henley has the inside track on it and makes the grab out there for the second out. So 2 down, top of the 7th inning, 1-0 the score. Pirates on top of the Power as Henley ran about maybe 10 feet back and 10 feet to his right to make the catch, probably about another 10 feet in front of the fence in left field. Colby Hamilton, 0 for 2, ground out and fly out. Once again, Alvarez hoping to retire him for the 3rd consecutive time like he just did to Tunnel. First pitch, slider, low and away. Nice block by Kelly, and it's 1-0. Well, big moment right here as the tying run is on second base, but there are 2 outs for Andrew Alvarez in a 1-0 ball game. Top of the 7th inning. Here's the 1-0 fastball in there at the knees, called strike 1. 1-1 the count. Well, this game has been going by rapidly and has absolutely been a joy to watch. Just both sides pitching very well, and defensively has been very sound as well. Another off-speed pitch. This one is outside, and it's 2-1. If you recall, we started 8 minutes late. 2:08 was the official first pitch. So, in an hour and a half of play, we are already in the 7th inning. Alvarez checks the runner at second, fires home, swung on and missed, and it's 2-2. And Alvarez really, in this at-bat, has fooled the hitter, Colby Hamilton, with that pitch. Let's see if he tries to come back with it, because he made him look a little bit foolish on 2 of those pitches, the first pitch and then that last one. Or do you try to go with something completely different and maybe try to go with high heat, try to catch him chasing out of the zone? Alvarez was taking a little bit of time, so the hitter Hamilton calls for time and steps out of the batter's box temporarily and now digs right back in. Alvarez hoping to hold on to that 1-0 lead here in the 7th inning. Swung on and missed. He went with the heater, and that is strike 3, and the Power are retired here. And at the end of 6.5 innings, the Pirates, they hold on to that 1-0 lead. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. And welcome back. I hope you got your first stretch in, and a good stretch at that. We do have a doubleheader, so we're heading to the bottom of the 7th inning as we have our first 7th inning stretch of the day. 1-0 the score. Pirates on top of the Power. Morgan Ehrman, the Arizona Wildcat, still on the mound for the Power. He has pitched very, very well for the Power, but he has so far been outdueled by his counterpart, Andrew Alvarez, who has given up no runs, only allowed 4 or 5 hits as well, coming up with a huge strikeout with the runner in scoring position. And actually, if you remember, the leadoff hitter hit the fly ball to deep center field that Nathan Virgin couldn't see. First pitch is inside for ball 1 to Greg Espinosa. Want to know the count to him. And it got over Virgin's head, so leadoff batter gets a double. And you think maybe the Power might be in business, but Alvarez responded. Fastball, called a strike. Looked like it might have been low and away, but it's called a strike nonetheless, and now it's 1-1 to Espinosa. Greg Espinosa, nicknamed Espy, swung on this one and fouls it out of play down the first base line, so it's 1-2 to the 5'10", 165-pounder headed to Houston Baptist. Greg Espinosa, a business major, hoping to go about his business right here and lead off the inning in style for the Pirates. Good eye right there. Takes low in the dirt for ball 2. 2-2 the count. Well, we talked about, of course, both Espinosa and Alvarez headed to Houston Baptist. Fastball outside, ball 3. 3-2. He has a really great understanding of the strike zone, does number 4. And it's almost like there's sort of a pipeline at Orange Coast College to go to Houston Baptist. They will now have 4 players who played for Orange Coast College with Houston Baptist next season. Fly ball down the first base line and into the netting. So it gets out of play. And we'll do it again. Another payoff pitch to come to Espy. Espinosa set to see the 7th pitch in this at-bat. Of course, at this stage, really one of the major things that you want to do is just kind of start wearing down the pitcher and try to get him out of the game. This one's swung on and driven up the middle for a base hit. Espinosa leads it off in style, and he does go about his business with a single to lead off the bottom of the 7th inning. Here comes Jacob Bernardi, the hero of the game so far, with the line drive double down the left field line that scored Nathan Virgin, and that's all we've had. 1-0 the score. Pirates on top of the Power. Bottom of the 7th inning. No outs. Espinosa takes his lead off first. Fastball swung and fouled out of play down the first base line. And it's 0-1 to Bernardi. Jacob Bernardi, 1 for 2 with that aforementioned RBI double in the 5th inning. Also grounded out to the 3rd baseman. The runner's off, and this is a pitch out. And down to second base, and in time is Espinosa. Espinosa steals second even on a pitch out, as maybe the Power were starting to steal signs from the Pirates because they knew that steal was coming, but they still couldn't stop Espy from getting the second. 3rd stolen bag for the Pirates. Swung and fouled straight back at the screen. That'll be strike 2 to Jacob Bernardi. And really the running game has also been a huge story in this game because Christian Kelly has taken the running game out of the realm of possibilities for the Power. And this one hits Jacob Bernardi in a tough area right there. I believe he was hit in the left thigh, but maybe in a more precarious situation as he is hunched over and Charlie Reynoso is checking on him. So this would be really, really tough to potentially lose Bernardi after really being the star of the game so far, and he does not look like he's in good shape. As we mentioned, it might have hit him in the groin area, and it looks like he's going to walk it off. Is he going to stay in the game? It looked like he was very, very shaken up, but Coach Espinosa patting him on the back, as Charlie Reynoso will watch him walk down the first base line, and a very, very noticeable limp down that first base line at this point. But huge, huge moment for the Pirates here, trying to get some more insurance runs. They are up 1-0, and the first 2 hitters have reached base. Reaching on the single and stealing second base was Greg Espinosa, and reaching on this hit by pitch is Jacob Bernardi. Harry Gurley did come out once again. He has come out a number of times here today in a game that's very important. And we mentioned this at the top of the broadcast. Nobody has even split with the Palm Springs Power since 2008 in league play. And the Pirates hoping that they are on the verge of at least ensuring a split here if they win the first game of the doubleheader. And if they could do that, then they have a chance to actually potentially win this series in Game 2. But we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. There is still a couple more innings of play, 2 more at-bats for the Power. But once again, the Pirates in a good situation themselves with 2 runners on, no outs, bottom of the 7th inning. And number 9 hitter, and then the top of the lineup. Squaring around is Henley, and he lets it go. Snap throw down to second, and nice catch over there by the shortstop, Nielsen. Kind of made an acrobatic catch over there. And if that had gotten by him, certainly Espinosa would have been able to advance 90 feet in the 3rd. Not sure if Bernardi could have gone the second on that, but That would have been a huge play if that got past the shortstop. So a good job out there by the shortstop to stop that ball from going into center field. The outfielders playing noticeably shallow, especially the center fielder, for Nolan Henley, who actually hit a home run in the last game. The Wildcat, Morgan Ehrman, steps off the mound, as Henley will be asked to sacrifice once again on a 1-strike count. This is something you have to be able to do if you're the number 9 hitter in the lineup with 2 men on and no outs. In comes the infield, and he lays it down, and it's a fly ball, and the throw comes to second base, and it won't get there in time. But that is a tough out right there on the fly ball to the pitcher by Nolan Henley, because that is, just an unproductive out. There's so many things that you can do in that situation to move the runners over, and the first one being to sacrifice down onto the ground. But Henley can't get it done, and so there's 1 down here in the bottom of the 7th inning, and that will be it for Morgan Ehrman, because this is the second time Harry Gurley has come out here in the bottom of the 7th. So he's going to ask for the ball, and it looks like a left-handed pitcher is going to come in for the Palm Springs Power to finish off this 7th inning. It'll be interesting to see if he comes in and pitches the rest of the game with the new pitcher. But just to kind of recap, it's been a pitcher's duel to this point. No runs scored for the first 4.5 innings until in the bottom of the 5th, Jacob Bernardi came through with the RBI double down the left field line, scoring Nathan Virgin. Virgin got himself in the scoring position after singling and stealing second base. So the stolen base was huge there, as we do have a left-handed pitcher warming up for the Palm Springs Power wearing number 16. This is Jesse Bristow from Colorado State University, Pueblo. 6'1", 180-pound junior from Heber, Utah. So Jesse Bristow on here for the Power. Guy that definitely pitched for them last season as well. And somebody that's going to be looked to get out of this jam. 2 runners on, 1 out, bottom of the 7th inning, with the leadoff hitter at the plate, Fernando Escobar. Escobar, he has hit the ball to the left side of the infield all 3 times today. One of them ending up in an infield single. The other 2 he was thrown out on. And one of the more notable ones was in his last at-bat when there was a runner on third base, and he just missed beating it out by maybe 1 step. Maybe even a half a step, and if he could have beaten that out, he would have had an RBI, and it would have been a 2-0 game. But woulda, coulda, shoulda, this is not horseshoes. So it remains 1-0 here in the bottom of the 7th inning, as Bristow continues to take his warm-up pitches. I think he's got maybe 1 or 2 more to go, as the home plate umpire will now wipe off home plate, and we are set to resume play from Scalinos Field on the campus of Cal Poly Pomona. Dave Soberai on the play-by-play. So glad that you are here for Game 1 of the doubleheader that will go a long way into determining a conference championship in 2014. Bristow, the southpaw, set in the stretch. Here comes his first pitch, and it misses inside for ball 1, 1-0 the count. Well, now if you're Escobar, you are a leadoff hitter, so you're a guy that typically does see a lot of pitches. You are disciplined at the plate. Now would be a good time to maybe take first strike and just kind of let the dugout see what this pitcher has to offer. The runners are off. It was a hit and run well high, but it doesn't matter because the runners were off so early that they steal second and third base uncontested. But Escobar did his job by protecting the plate there. And here comes the infield. The infield is now in again for the Power with 1 out, 2 men on, in both in scoring position here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Here we go. Fernando, breaking pitch down low for a ball. Good eye there. It's 2-1. So this is a situation for Fernando Escobar to where if you can hit a fly ball to the outfield, that should score a run. We had the same situation in the last inning. 1 out, runners on second and third. Pirates could not score. Will they be able to amend for that this time? This ball comes inside and misses, and it's now 3-1. Hitter's pitch to come to Fernando Escobar, the San Francisco State Gator. One of 4 Gators on this team for the Inland Valley Pirates as Bristow steps off the mound. And they're just going to intentionally walk him. They're just going to put him on base so they can have a force out somewhere. And that's exactly what they do. So Fernando Escobar, probably drawing the only intentional walk that he will have this season, now loads the bases. On third base, Greg Espinosa, who singled and then stole second and third. On second base, Jacob Bernardi, who was hit by a pitch and stole second. And on first, Fernando Escobar, who was just intentionally walked. And here comes Johnny Reynoso, the number 2 hitter, 1 for 3 on the day. First pitch to him misses low for ball 1, 1-0 the count. And we were mentioning this the last time he was up. It seems like any time the Pirates have a big inning, he's right in the middle of it. And let's see if that holds true here. At that point, he actually had a base hit. But the Pirates couldn't score in that inning. Lake again, here's a pitch from Bristow. And that one misses low, and it's 2-0. So the first thing to do is to be disciplined here on a 2-0 count. But you could be sitting dead red for fastball. In fact, you probably should be sitting dead red if Bristow will come and deliver the fastball on a pitch that he needs a strike here. But this one is called a strike on the outside corner, and it looked maybe like a little bit like a slider there, which is pretty much most of the pitches that he's throwing. Sort of throwing a little bit like Cody Arott, if I had to compare him to somebody on the Pirates. Here's the pitch. Swan and foul back at the screen, 2-2. Bases loaded, 1 out. Bottom of the 7th inning, 1-0 Pirates lead. The number 2 hitter, Reynoso, up at bat, which means on deck is Andrew Alvarez, who has been dealing all game long on the bump. Squaring around on a 2-strike count. This is going to be a suicide's bunt, and he comes in to score! What a play right there by Johnny Reynoso to lay one down straight back at the pitcher. And that is how you manufacture runs, and that is small ball to the max right there. As with a 2-strike count, Johnny Reynoso lays one down right in front of the pitcher, and it's 2-0. Greg Espinosa scores, and Fernando Escobar now in at second, while Jacob Bernardi's at third. Alvarez swings at the first pitch he sees. It's a fly ball that's in foul territory, but the catch is made by the first baseman, Klein. So Alvarez quickly retired with the bases loaded, and now there are 2 outs here in the 7th inning. Kyle Jackson coming to the plate. Kyle Jackson 1 for 2, singled in the 6th inning, also walked in the 4th inning. But the Pirates have added an insurance run here in the 7th. They now lead 2-0. Kyle Jackson, very, very good hitter, both this season and last season for the Pirates. Takes strike 1 on the inside corner, 0-1 the count to him. The Pirates, they've had their opportunities to kind of break this one open. Will they take advantage right here? They did get 1 run, but they would love 1 more base hit to feel very comfortable about this. Off-speed pitch driven to right field, and a leaping grab made by the first baseman, Klein. Klein getting about 12 inches off the ground and robbing Kyle Jackson of potentially a 3-run base hit, because that was going right down the first base right field line. But the Pirates do get 1 more run, and now they make it 2-0 at the end of 7. Andrew Alvarez coming up to pitch his 8th inning, something that he did in his first outing against the Power. And we'll come back in just a few short moments here at Cal Poly Pomona. And welcome back to Scalinos Field on the campus of Cal Poly Pomona. 2-0 to score. Pirates on top of the Power. It was the Pirates who scored back in the bottom of the 5th on the RBI double by Jacob Bernardi, scoring Nathan Virgin to make it 1-0 as the fastball's in there for strike 1, 0-1 the count to Danny Edgeworth. Then the Pirates adding a much-needed insurance run back in that last inning on the bunt by Johnny Reynoso. Ooh, not quite sure where that one missed, and it's now 1-1. So Johnny Reynoso coming through with that RBI that was placed right in front of the pitcher and catcher, and in came a run to score to make it 2-0. This one is a fastball in the dirt that hits the hitter on the right ankle, as Andrew Alvarez kind of lost the handle or the grip of that baseball. And now Charlie Reynoso is actually going to come out and meet with Andrew Alvarez, maybe just to check and see that he's okay, because when you lose a ball like that and you're worried about maybe him hurting himself, or maybe you just want to talk a little strategy, I can't imagine that he's considering taking Alvarez out of the game, as the entire infield and Christian Kelly join Charlie Reynoso on the pitcher's mound. The leadoff man is on base. The Power have been able to do that before in this game, but of course they have retired the side after that happening. In fact, they just did it in the last inning on a leadoff double by Jake Howarth, and then Alvarez retired the side and really threw a fireball fastball strikeout to end that inning against Colby Hamilton. Alvarez, as we mentioned, the lone pitcher, the lone person to give the Power a loss this season. They are 17-1. He went 8 innings and 6 strikeouts, 2 runs. This performance has been even better so far. Pickoff throw over to first. So far in 7+ innings, no runs allowed to the Power, who have really displayed power hitting all season long. They're coming off 13 and 14 run performances. Squaring around and fouling it up in the air is Nate Pollock, so it's 0-1 to him, as there's no way Christian Kelly could have gotten there in time. Well, Nate Pollock, he's actually had a good game for the Power. He has 2 hits off Andrew Alvarez, so even though this is a sacrifice situation as you're trailing in the late innings, it's interesting that you decide, well, the guy's 2 for 2, maybe you should let him hit. Alvarez deals, and he was not bunting on this one, but the pitch misses low on an off-speed pitch, and it's 1-1 here to Nate Pollock. Well, it's interesting because Nate Pollock came into the game batting .341, and he's in the 8th spot. So maybe they did that to kind of mess with the Pirates and put a great hitter down low in the lineup. Another pickoff throw by Alvarez, not in time. But it's pretty good to just keep the runner over there, make sure he's paying attention, make sure he doesn't get too big of a lead off the base. And he really doesn't have that much of a lead off the base. Here's the pitch. Fastball in there, strike 2. Well, the Pirates really hoping to handle their business here in Game 1 of the doubleheader. Power down to their final 6 outs, trailing by 2 runs. This has been a pitcher's duel to the max. Here's the pitch. Breaking pitch just misses low, and it's 2-2. Ooh, that is a really, really good purpose pitch by Andrew Alvarez. Almost would have been an unhittable pitch for the hitter had it been called a strike. It must have been a little bit low. Here's the 2-2 offering. Fastball swung and lifted into dead center field, deep center field, but Virgin has the track on it and makes the grab. One-handed grab, opening his shoulders up to his left side, and that's the first out here in the inning. Of course, Virgin actually lost the ball on that leadoff double back in the 2nd inning that got over his head. He didn't know where it was, and Jacob Bernardi did a really good job tracking it down and then firing to make sure that the runner didn't advance any farther than second base. And then, of course, Alvarez got out of that, retiring the next 3 hitters. So 1 out, top of the 8th inning, 2-0 to score. Number 9 hitter Connor Klein at plate and takes low for ball strike 1. 0-1 the count. It was right at the knees. Excuse me. Andrew Alvarez. It would almost be surprising or shocking if he didn't try to go the full 9 here in this game. The way he's pitched so far and has been very, very economical. Really no wasted pitches. Alvarez comes set, fires, checks his swing, and it misses low, does the breaking pitch. 1-1 the count. Christian Kelly again doing a nice job behind home plate, being that backstop and making sure the ball didn't get by him. This is a 1-1 count here for Connor Klein. Klein is 0 for 2. Takes this one, and this is definitely a strike, and it's now 1-2 to Connor. Alvarez has been snapping that breaking pitch the last couple innings, and it's really confused power hitters. They do not want to offer at that pitch. Let's see if he comes back with the fastball, though, here. And he does. Ground ball to the right side over to Greg Espinosa. It's deep in the hole, and he's going to fire over to first and take the given out at first base. So Edgeworth does move up into scoring position at second. But Espinosa doing the smart thing and making sure that he gets the given out, the out that is sure. As you're leading by 2, so obviously you don't want that other run to score, but you'd much rather get an out than potentially try to make a crazy play over to second base to get the force. Here comes Scotty Burcham, the leadoff hitter, 0 for 3 in this game. First pitch to him is that breaking pitch I was talking about that looks really, really nice now, and this one is lifted foul over the first base dugout, 0-1 the count. Well, Charlie Reynoso at the beginning of the day was a little bit concerned because he was missing a couple guys that he thought might be potential closers in this game, specifically in Jack Johnson and A.J. David. But Andrew Alvarez is looking like he wants to be the closer himself and go the full 9. Checks the runner at second, fires home. This one misses inside, ball 1, 1-1 the count to Scotty Burcham. Scotty Burcham, another power hitter coming into this game with ridiculous numbers, 410 batting average. But he's been held in check today by Alvarez, 0 for 3. Couple ground outs and 1 strikeout. Nice breaking pitch in there, and it's 1-2. As really, the Powers seem like they're almost disheveled by that pitch. They do not want to swing at that pitch at all. 2 outs here. Top of the 8th inning. Runner in scoring position at second base. Alvarez checks him and fires a fastball home. Oh, just misses outside, I guess, as that looked like a really good spot from Andrew Alvarez. Alvarez trying to pipe it again, though. We've seen him do that a number of times in this game. He works that breaking pitch flawlessly, and then he throws the heater for a strikeout. He comes back with the breaking pitch, and it's fouled out of play behind the backstop. And that made a connection with a car out there. And that is not what you want to hear if you're that guy driving by, as his roof was just caved in by a baseball. They always say park at your own risk if you're parking near a ballpark. And in this case, he was driving at his own risk because the car was actually moving. Well, it's 2-2 here, 2 outs. Deuce is running wild with the man on second base, 2-0 the score. Swung on and missed, strike 3. And down goes the leadoff hitter, Scotty Burcham. And Andrew Alvarez continues to deal for the Pirates. He is through 8 innings, allowing no runs. And at the end of 7.5, it remains 2-0 Pirates on top. To the bottom of 8 we go, 2-0 the score. Pirates on top of the power, as Andrew Alvarez has put on an amazing performance so far pitching for the Pirates. Here comes Christian Kelly. Kelly 0 for 3 on the day, a couple flyouts and 1 strikeout. But he's made his living behind home plate as the catcher, as the backstop. Swings at this one and lines it straight back from where it came from, up the middle. And the Pirates have their leadoff man on board here in the bottom of the 8th inning. So just like that, Christian Kelly comes through there. And he has been seeing the ball very well all summer long. Coming into this game, Kelly was hitting .382. And here's another guy who, as of late, has been seeing the ball very well, Nathan Virgin. Nathan Virgin singled and scored back in the 5th inning. Squaring around, trying to lay one down, but now brings it back as the fastball misses high and in. Nick Medeiros is the new pitcher, right-handed hurler from Santa Clara University, 6'0", 190 pounds. Plays in a very, very tough competitive conference in the West Coast Conference. Swung on this one, and this one's lined into right field for a base hit. Kelly will go station to station over to second base. So just like that, Pirates once again getting their first 2 men on board. That's what they did in the 7th inning, and it ended up resulting in a run on an RBI by Johnny Reynoso. They would love to maybe tack on one more here to just get that one more added insurance run if they can, leading 2-0. Squaring around is Jacob Bernardi, who was actually hit by a pitch in that inning. And this one is a bouncer in the dirt, and it hits off the catcher's mask, and it might have made contact with the catcher's head as he is just kneeled down, hunched over on home plate. His helmet came loose as the breaking pitch hit off the top of his helmet. And you do not see that happen too often. So we have time called for as both Christian Kelly and Nathan Version advanced up a bag. And so now both in scoring position after the wild pitch. Palm Springs Power have a trainer here with them who's checking on the catcher, as well as the manager, Harry Gurley, to make sure that everything is okay with his catcher. Colby Hamilton has had a really, really good game behind the plate for them. Not quite to the level of Christian Kelly, of course, but very, very good nonetheless. Of course, nobody's really at the level of Christian Kelly, who is really just a superb fielding catcher. I mean, and he has the whole package when you look at what he has to offer. So they're getting a few warm-up pitches in here for Medeiros to make sure that the catcher, Hamilton, can catch it and can, just kind of go about his duties. And he can, in fact, do that. And once again, we see the entire infield playing on the infield grass. The Power have had this going on in literally the last 3 innings. Fastball swung on, fly ball, foul, and out of play behind home plate. It might not have only been the last 3. It might have been the last 4 innings now, counting on this inning. The past 4 innings, we have seen the infield in for the Power. They've actually done a pretty good job in really stopping the bleeding, or stopping this to be broken open by the Pirates. Still only 2-0. This one misses inside for a ball 2, and it's 2-1 to Greg Espinosa. Greg Espinosa went to Yucaipa High School. A couple guys on this team from Yucaipa. Swings at this one, bounces it up the middle, and it gets through. In comes 1 run. It's 3-0 as Kelly scores, and Virgin will be held up at third on the RBI single by Greg Espinosa, his second base hit of the day. So the Pirates add an insurance run here in the bottom of the 8th. They now lead 3-0. And we mentioned it. Nobody has been able to even split with the Power since 2008 in league play. And the Pirates just 3 outs away from at least splitting this season. Fastball low, ball 1, 1-0 the count, to Jacob Bernardi. Well, Jacob Bernardi was the man who belted that line drive down the third base line and into left field for a double that scored the first run. Fastball in for a ball, 2-0 the count. And then he took one off pretty much the thigh area, the upper left leg. He looked like he was really shaken up by it, but he ended up staying in the game and walked it off and went down to first base, and obviously he's still in now. Bounces this one to the left side, backhanded grab play at the plate in time. So a good job right there by the shortstop, Nielsen, who's really, really had a great defensive day for the Power, ranging to his right a couple feet, backhanding it and firing it into the catcher where the tag was applied for the out. So Bernardi now is on first base on the fielder's choice as Espinosa is now on second. Here comes Nolan Henley. Takes inside, strike 1, 0-1 the count to Henley. Henley 0 for 3. Actually tried to sacrifice back in the last inning, but hit a fly ball bunt to the pitcher. Pitcher at that time was Bristow. Now, of course, is Medeiros, who came in this inning. He throws a big breaking ball, and that's in there for a called strike 2. Nolan Henley, I don't think, liked that call as he kind of walks out of the batter's box and then takes a practice cut over there. Takes a look down at third base and Charlie Reynoso to see if any signs are on. Here's the pitch. Another big breaking ball, and he came back with it, called strike 3. And that was really a smart job of pitching by Medeiros to see that Nolan kind of looked confused on the previous pitch, and so he come right back with a really, really hard 12-6 breaking ball. And down goes Henley. So that'll be the second out here in the 8th inning. Pirates leading 3-0. Here comes Fernando Escobar. Escobar swinging at the first pitch and fouling it out of play down the third base line. 0-1 the count to Escobar. Escobar 1 for 3. Couple ground outs to the shortstop. And was also intentionally walked in his last plate appearance. Pitcher fell behind 3-1, and there were runners on second and third, so they decided they wanted to intentionally walk him. Fastball low, 1-1 the count to number 1. Pirates leading 3-0 here in game 1 of the doubleheader. 2 outs, bottom of the 8th inning. 1 run in this inning, as the bats have really started to come along ever since the 5th inning. This one swung on and lifted into the center field. Line drive, but right at the center fielder. And that'll do it for the 8th inning. Off the bat, it was hit very hard. And we mentioned it a little bit earlier in the game, but the center fielder out there for the Power, Pollock, he seems to play pretty shallow. And if you're playing like a normal position, that might have gotten down for a base hit. But since he's playing shallow, he was in there and time to catch it and to finish off the inning. The Pirates add 1 more run here in the bottom of the 8th, and they now take a 3-0 lead into the top of the 9th inning. Will they be able to finish this one out? We'll find out in just a few moments. And we'll head back to Scalinos Field for the top of the 9th inning. 3-0 the score. Pirates on top of the Power. Andrew Alvarez comes in for his 9th inning, looking to shut the door himself in this situation. Here's the first pitch from Alvarez, breaking pitch low and away for ball 1 to Hayden Nielsen. Hayden Nielsen is 0 for 3, 3 flyouts in this game, but he's really been making his living as a very, very good fielding shortstop. Made a lot of plays in this game. Fastball misses outside, and it's 2-0 here for Alvarez. Well, Andrew Alvarez went 8 innings in the first outing against the Power, hoping to one-up it here and go 9. Fastball swung on, and this should be a routine fly ball out there for Greg Espinoza, the second baseman, and it is, as he makes the catch 1 foot back on the outfield grass for the first out here in the top of the 9th inning. Power down to their final 2 outs, as Pirates hoping to get the second victory of the season against the Power. And the Power have only lost 1 game all season long out of 18. Of course, that 1 loss was to these Pirates and Andrew Alvarez in particular. This one swung on, and it's driven right back up the middle. Making a backhand attempt is Espinoza, but it gets by him. So that'll be a base hit. First hit of the inning, first runner of the inning. And the Power hoping to get some momentum here. Of course, Alvarez hoping to halt it himself as he kind of shook his head because the ball literally went directly in between his 2 legs. And then on top of that, Espinoza had a chance to maybe glove it, but probably wouldn't have been able to make the play on time over to first base. But if Alvarez could have just maybe hit that even with his leg, he might have been able to get that second out there. But the runner is on base. First pitch grounded to the right side and through the hole, and that'll be a base hit. So the Power now have 2 men on base with 1 out in the 9th inning. And if you're a Power fan, this is really all you could ask for. As you trail 3-0, you have the potential tying run at the plate. For the Pirates, meanwhile, you're just trying to get outs here. As long as you can get 2 more outs, you end up winning this game. Here comes West Tunnel, 0 for 3. So Andrew Alvarez trying to retire him for the 4th straight time. He checks the runner at second, fires home, and it's grounded off his front shin. So to be 0-1 on the foul ball. Well, that's obviously something that you want to see right there, is Andrew get ahead of the hitter, because it's something that he hasn't done so far in this inning. So he gets ahead 0-1, and now you can kind of set up the hitter and get him off his toes. Hitter is West Tunnel, number 5 in the lineup. Here's the pitch, high and away, and it's 1-1. So the Power have the number 5 hitter Tunnel, and then Hamilton, the 6 hitter, due up in this 9th inning. Pirates scored their 1 run in the 5th inning, and then another in the 7th and another in the 8th. That's where we are, 3-0 the score. Another pitch well out of the zone, and it's 2-1. So all of a sudden, we always talk about this, it's really never an easy thing to close it out, to close a game out, especially when you've been on the mound the entire time. Andrew Alvarez going 8 in the 3rd already, hoping to just notch 2 more outs in this game. 2-1 the count. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung, line drive in the left center, and that's going to be a base hit. Nolan Henley making a diving attempt at it. In comes 1 run. The throw comes into third base, and it will not be in time. So all of a sudden, the Power score 1 run, and now have 2 men in scoring position with 1 out to potentially tie this game up. Time is called for by Charlie Reynoso, and that will do it for Andrew Alvarez, who went 8 in the 3rd and really had a great performance. It's really tough to see that run come in, but this game obviously is not over yet, because the Power have 2 runners in scoring position as they trail 3-1 with only 1 out. A.J. David is the new pitcher for the Inland Valley Pirates, as Andrew Alvarez will get congrats from the entire dugout after shutting down the Power for 8 in the 3rd inning, something that is obviously very, very challenging to do for a team that has been scoring runs like crazy all season long. Alvarez will remain in the game at first base, so it's going to be a double switch, because Alvarez will stay in at first, and Kyle Jackson, the first baseman, will now go to the bench, as A.J. David will come in his spot. So A.J. David on the mound to close this one out here for the Inland Valley Pirates. He hasn't pitched that much so far this year for the Pirates, but he's another guy that, like Andrew Alvarez, both hits and pitches. And this season so far, only 4 innings pitched and 4 strikeouts, 4.50 earned run average. So all of a sudden, you get the first man out, and then the next 3 come up with hits. You have a single by Howitt, a single by Sterry, and an RBI double by West Tunnel to make it 3-1. And obviously at this moment, you're really happy, if you're a Pirate fan, that you put on a couple insurance runs. You had the initial run on the RBI double by Jacob Bernardi that scored Nathan Virgin back in the 5th inning. Then in the 7th inning, you tack on a second run on an RBI by Johnny Reynoso that scored Greg Espinosa. If you remember, Espinosa actually stole 2nd and 3rd before coming in on the RBI by Johnny Reynoso. And then in the 8th, you tacked on 1 more on an RBI single by Greg Espinosa, which scored Christian Kelly. So that's how you got the 3 runs. Pirates had all sorts of opportunities to play even more, but obviously you're going as very, very talented and good pitchers in the Palm Springs Power, so it's not easy. As the catcher comes to the plate, Colby Hamilton. Colby Hamilton 0 for 3 here today with a ground out, a strikeout, and a flyout, as A.J. David, he will come to the mound. The right-handed pitcher set to go to Cal Baptist. Played for San Bernardino Valley College the last 2 years and throws high and in. And that was almost, in fact, it almost hit Colby Hamilton as the ball actually rolled away temporarily from Kelly, and somebody in the dugout yelling behind you, behind you. Kelly quickly found it. Obviously, with runners on 2nd and 3rd, 1 out, top of the 9th inning. Power hoping to come back and hoping to score runs any way they can. Here's the 1-0. Fastball swung on and missed, and it's 1-1. We're going to see what exactly A.J. David is made of right here. Coming in with a runner on second and third situation, 1 out. Swung on and missed, blown by the hitter. So that is strike 2, and it's 1-2. See what David comes up with here. Maybe try to go with, if he has that pitch, a slider low and away, and try to catch the hitter fishing on a 1-2 count. Probably not coming with anything in the zone. But it's a fastball, high and in, swung on and missed, and that is strike 3. So that is the second out of the inning. And now, Power are down to their final out here. There still are 2 runners in scoring position with 2 outs, top of the 9th inning. Up comes Danny Edgeworth, the designated hitter. He is 1 for 2, singled in the 5th, grounded out in the 3rd, and was punked by a pitch in the 8th inning. First pitch to him, off-speed pitch that misses high and in, and it's 1-0. A.J. David, of course, signing with Cal Baptist before this sophomore year even started at San Bernardino Valley College. He signed back in December with them. Here's the pitch. Fastball in there, called strike 1, and it's 1-1. And A.J. David is really bringing some gas here with those fastballs. Shakes off Christian Kelly's sign. That's something I don't think we saw Alvarez do the whole 8 1/3 innings he pitched. Breaking ball swung and fouled off the shin, and down goes Danny Edgeworth as it hit off his ankle. And he's kind of hunched over. Power down to their final strike as Christian Kelly will make a little bit of a visit over to A.J. David to try to just discuss exactly what they want to throw here. In a situation where you're up 1-2, you might try to come with a waste pitch and might try to get the hitter to chase something out of the zone. But then again, if you're A.J. David, your fastball looks pretty fast, pretty hard. You might just challenge him with high heat. As Edgeworth continues to walk around, and once again the Power trainer makes his way to the batter's box where it seems like he's been a number of times today. Maybe 3 or 4 times he's come out there to check on some of his players. Harry Gurley was also out there, the manager of the Power, and now they both head back to the third base dugout. Well, here it comes. 1-2 pitch. A.J. David working out of the stretch with 2 runners in scoring position in a 3-1 game. Top of the 9th inning. Here it comes. Breaking pitch in the dirt that gets by Kelly, and a run is going to score, and it's 3-2. So it's now 2-2. It's 2-2 as the run comes home on a wild pitch. West Tunnel advancing 90 feet up to third base. And so the tying run just 90 feet away from scoring. There are still 2 outs, though. And A.J. David still, if he makes the right pitch here, can get out of this inning with a Pirates victory. 2-2 the count. The tying run is West Tunnel, who had the RBI double. Here comes the 2-2 offering. Outside, ball 3. 3-2 the count. Now in this situation, it wouldn't be the worst thing maybe to walk him. You don't definitely want to come with a pitch that will be easy to hit on a 3-2 count. A.J. David once again shaking off Kelly's sign. Now comes set. Here's the full count pitch. Breaking ball swung on and fouled over towards the first base line, and then really at Kyle Jackson, who came out in the double switch. It was David for Jackson, and then Alvarez from pitcher to first. Oh, some really nerve-wracking moments right here. It's 3-2, top of the 9th inning. The score is also 3-2. David comes set at the stretch. Fires a fastball. Strike 3 called on the outside corner, and down goes the hitter Edgeworth, who threw his bat in disbelief, assuming that it would be called a ball. But in that position, you really need to protect the plate. And the Pirates, they hold on barely, 3-2. After not giving up a run, not giving up anything for 8 1/3 innings, all of a sudden, the Power come through with 3 consecutive hits, 2 singles, and an RBI double. Then a second run scores on a wild pitch to make it 3-2. But A.J. David strikes out both hitters or strikes out 2 hitters in the inning to get out of the game, and the Pirates win and are now 2-1 against the Power this season. But there was a little bit of a nail-biting time there in the ninth. As we mentioned, it's never easy to close a game out at any level, not just at the collegiate level. Even in the major league level, you see guys blow saves all the time. In fact, I know Kenley Jansen did it earlier in the week when he blew a 2-run lead to the San Diego Padres of all teams. So the Pirates, they win this first game of the doubleheader. The second game will come in about 30 minutes, and obviously we will be broadcasting that live as well on InlandValleyBaseball.com. Back in the fifth inning, that's when the Pirates took the lead on an RBI double by Jacob Bernardi that scored Nathan Virgin. Then in the seventh inning, Pirates adding one more run on an RBI by Johnny Reynoso that scored Greg Espinosa. And then finally, in the eighth inning, it was an RBI single by Greg Espinosa that scored Christian Kelly to make it 3-0. And then at that point, you're thinking Andrew Alvarez is going to go the full 9. And he came in the ninth inning, got the first out, but then gave up 3 consecutive hits. And as we mentioned, all of a sudden the Power make it 3-2 after an RBI double and then a wild pitch. But A.J. David strikes out 2 to get out of it, and the Pirates win. And that's all that matters, just win, baby. And that's what the Pirates did here today. So the Pirates, they doubled the entire loss total of the season for the Power in that one game. Of course, both losses coming to the Pirates, who now dropped to 17-2 and 3-2 in league play. And the Pirates, I think I just said the Pirates, the Power are the team that's dropping to 17-2 and 3-2. The Power, and then the Pirates now 5-2 in league play, 13-3-1 overall. Thanks so much for joining us. I, of course, am Dave Soberi on the play-by-play. So glad you could join us wherever you may be, and we will be back in just 30 short minutes for Game 2 of the doubleheader.